Yes, guys. Good evening, guys. So before we start today's session, so I saw some openings in AtMex for JMeter and quality kiosk. And yes, quintally this is LoadRunner requirement. So there are some openings in IBM and Accenture and somewhere, yeah, AtMex Technologies, right? AtMex is another service-based company, guys. Quality analyst, your professional. This is again LoadRunner requirement, Accenture, in Accenture, okay? This is pure JMeter requirement. Conduct job training and provide assistance to the team as needed. Okay, so this is pure JMeter requirement. Okay, so anyone attending interviews, guys? Am I audible, guys?
Yes, Pawan, preparing for the interview only. Going forward, will attend.
Okay, all right. So where did we stop, guys, in the last session? Throughput shaping timer plugin. Okay. Let me open the script. Okay. So what else we need to cover, guys? Performance, N1 analyzer, Java melody is done. This is done. The stable graph, metallograph, load test, and MGMITTraining. Okay. So I think we did not start distributed testing, right?
Yes, Pawan.
Okay.
N1 and Java melody also we faced some issue, so that is also pending, I think.
N1 and Java melody. What issues did we face on Java melody? I did not show this Java Konakart test on the Konakart test. Sorry, load test on Konakart application and Java melody.
No,
Isn't
Pawan.
okay?
Right, faced some issue with Konakart, so that is pending.
Okay, okay. No. That issue when we faced this Konakart, uh, Konakart setup. Sorry, I couldn't recollect it. So this is not actually with Konakart, guys, right? So this is with the InfluxDB, isn't it? Okay. Anyways, so let me execute one test on Konakart application. Konakart application is working fine. On my machine, it is working fine. Okay. So let me execute a test on that Konakart application and how to generate a report and all. I will cover that first. Then in that case, just give me that case. So if you want to run that Konakart application, first we need to start the database, right? MySQL is the database here. So first I started that MySQL database and then start Konakart now. Okay. So here is the shortcut to start Konakart. And Konakart application, Konakart is an enterprise Java application running on Tomcat server. And what is Tomcat? What type of server is Tomcat?
Web server.
Is it web server?
No, application server.
Application server. Tomcat is a application server. And one more thing, did we One second. Did I share this one to you? Server side monitoring PPT.
No, Pawan.
I didn't share this to you. Okay, I'll share it. So Konakart, Tomcat is an application server, guys. Remember this. These two are the so first web servers. These two are the popular web servers: Apache, HTTP, Nginx. These are the popular web servers, and popular application servers are Apache Tomcat and then Oracle WebLogic. These two are more popular. That's why I have highlighted the important ones are popular ones, right? And these three are popular database servers: Oracle, MySQL, Microsoft SQL. These are the popular database servers. So Tomcat is a open source software application server used with Java applications. Clear? So this Konakart is a Java application, enterprise Java e-commerce application, and it is running right now on Tomcat application server. Clear, guys? So if you are able to start the Tomcat server successfully, you will see this message: server startup in so and so milliseconds, some XYZ milliseconds. Okay. Now also it will open two browsers and two tabs in a browser, and it will open normal user page. This is normal user page, and this is admin user page, or this is admin page. Okay. And now, so can someone, please share the admin credentials someone installed recently? I asked them to take a screenshot, right? Can you please share the credentials? So making the script work on any environment, that is called a script portability. On any environment means, for example, QA or test environment or SIT environment, right? So this is called a script portability. The script should be working on any environment with minimal changes, with minimal or no changes. That is called a script portability. Let me explain that, how to do that. Okay. So for that, what I will do is I will take one script that is developed on, I'll take one script which is developed on online application. So this is a script pointing to online application now, isn't it? So see here, this is, this script is pointing to konakart.com. That means this is pointing to online application. And now if you want to make the script work on any, and now I also have Konakart set up on my local machine also, isn't it? I'm also having Konakart set up on my local machine. This is the URL, localhost 8780, or this is the URL, localhost 8780 Konakart. This is the URL. So this remains common, isn't it? See, this remains common, only this part changes. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys?
Yes, Pawan.
See, if you see the URL, online application URL, let me show you that. Observe the URL here, konakart.com, Konakart login.action. Let me go to that website. Okay. So see here, konakart.com, Konakart login.action. This is showing this page. Okay. And now, see here, this is localhost 8780 Konakart welcome.action. This is login.action. So when do you get that login.action? So suppose if you click on this, so this is local application, right? So hold on, my account. If you click on, see, now it is referring to login.action, Konakart login.action. See, these two pages are same, isn't it? This page and this page are same, isn't it? Whereas, but however, this is pointing to online application, whereas this URL is pointing to, right now here we are pointing to the local application, Konakart application installed on our machine. Clear, guys? Only this part changes. Is it clear that resource path remains same? Agree?
Yes, Pawan.
So what we need to do is, suppose, we have a script, which is developed on online application on one environment, and now we want to make the script work on any environment. So for that, what we will do is, like, like this is, we understood that only this is changing. This one is changing. And how about this one, port number? port number will it change or it will remain the same?
I think it
So
will change.
observe here.
Will change.
Here, when I am pointing to local application, it is a HTTP application. Observe here, your connection to this site is not secure. That means this is a HTTP application. If you copy that URL, you can see that. If you copy that URL also, you can see that. Now let me paste it here. So this is local application. Whereas the online application URL is, what is the online application URL? This one. Observe here, this is HTTPS, right? Whereas this one is HTTP. So this protocol may change. And observe here, there is a port number here, 8780 is the default port number of Konakart application. But that is there when you are working on a local application. But how about online application? Online application is a HTTPS. And the port number is 443, right? So 443 is the default port number of HTTPS application, any HTTPS application. If you remember that we saw that we came across that in the performance testing fundamentals.
Yes, sir.
What is the standard port number of HTTP?
80.
Right. So standard port number of HTTP is 80. Whereas standard port number of HTTPS is 443. Remember this, you need to remember this. Okay. Now we know this is changing from one environment to another environment. So we need to handle this. This changes and this changes. But this does not change. This resource path does not change. And clear or no?
Yeah, Pawan.
Okay. Now what we will do is, we'll make the script work on any environment. We should make the script work on. See, this is an online application. This script is recorded on online application. So let me do one thing. Let me replay the script once to make sure that it is working fine. First of all, let's make sure that the script is working fine. We need to parameterize this. And what values we need to parameterize this? And what are the unique values that that the application expects? Is it first name or
Email
email ID?
address.
Let me do one thing. Let me parameterize this first name. I will add a CSV dataset config. Add a CSV dataset config and to that CSV dataset config, I will give the variable name as P first name. Sorry, it should be here. And let me configure a file. 5.6.3 pin Konakart. This 5.6.3 bin, okay. Konakart. Let me create a CSV file here. Control C, Control H, replace that space with commas. Now save the file. Now let me configure that file. Other registration credentials. File encoding UTF data. recycle on it. So this is user registration script, right? So should I recycle on end of file,
Not required.
right? No, we should not recycle. So make it to false and stop thread on a end of file should be made to true, right? And next, what is the next step now? So let me replay the script once just to make sure that everything is working fine and there are no JMeter training 2. Okay, just to make sure that so everything is working fine. So I'll replace this with now. So MGMIT training 2, this should be replaced with P username, P first name. Do replace all. Now it got replaced here as well as here. So this is fine. This is okay. Let me replay the script once now. For one iteration, just one iteration. And see if it is working fine. Submit form. Okay. One more thing, guys. Observe here. So, are there any dynamic values here? Did you check that? Anyone worked on this script, guys? Let's replay the script once. We'll get to know whether it is working fine or not. Add a listener called view result stream and always add. Let me disable the test script recorder. And always when you before running the test, always add a config element called cookie manager and cache manager. And select that clear cookies each iteration and clear cache each iteration. Now let me replay the script once. Okay, let us see if user registration is successful or not. Okay, what is it saying? It is saying email address already exists. MGMITtraining1@gmail.
That first one is already taken.
Okay, okay. Let's do one thing. I'll remove that 1 and 2.
You can done.
Let's replay the script one more time. It's taking some time to load that HTML format in the HTML format. Yeah. Now you can see it is successful, right? You can see that user registration is successful and user logged in, isn't it? Is it clear?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yes.
Let's do one thing now. Let's add assertion also, at least for this only this request, customer registration submit dot action. Because we cannot check that manually for every user. So if you are able to log in, right, you will get this my account information, isn't it? You'll get this my account information if you are able to log in. So go to text and select for my account. Title is equal to my account. Find. I'm looking for, yes, this one, my account information. And which request this should be added? 88.
88.
Okay. Add assertion, response assertion. M is missing my account information. Okay. Now let me verify that once. Let me delete the user ID and let me replay the script once to verify that assertion is correct. That assertion is working fine. Right, MGMIT training 4. So this is also successful. Clear, guys? Now we have a working script and this is pointing to online application, isn't it? Now let us assume that you want to make the script work on local application. Let's assume that we have in another environment, we have the same application in another environment, and we want to make the script work on other environment also, same script. Now what we understood, guys, what all are changing, guys? Protocol is changing, this port number is changing, and then this server name is changing, isn't it? So what I will do is I will save the script with guys, let me know if you are able to follow or not. So I'll save the test plan as local app. And now what I will do is, I need to handle this. I need to change this, isn't it? So for that, I'll add an element called user defined variable, a config element called, is it a config element? Yes, it is a config element. I add an element called user defined variables. So I am going to define that, or I am going to use that variable name, server name, protocol, and all this. So in user defined variables, so what is the purpose of a user defined variables? Let me show you that. Okay. Sorry.
We can define a variable and use it in the script anywhere we require.
Yes. User defined variables. What does it do? It lets you define an initial set of variables, right? It lets you define some initial set of variables. Now, what are those variables that we are going to define is, so let me add, click on add, and so first server name, okay, protocol, okay. So let me add protocol. Here I'll give the value as HTTP. See, this is on local application. On local application, protocol is HTTP. We will not have, HTTPS applications, guys. So so, and then what are the other variables that we need to add? Server name, isn't it? Server name or server. Server name is here, localhost here. So we have a Konakart application running on localhost. So give localhost and port number. And one more thing, guys, give P protocol, P server, and so on to make that to denote that those are parameters, right? And what is the port number, guys? On the local machine, what is the port number? 87. Konakart port number on the local machine is 8780, right? Now we define some variables over here. Now what you do is, so go to the script and instead of HTTPS, Control-C, Control-F, replace that HTTPS with this variable. P protocol and do replace all. It replaced actually more than 10 actually. Let me show you that. If you see zoom out, right? If you do zoom out and see, it will show you. See, it replaced 14 occurrences. And all these are replaced. You see here, $P protocol. This is correct, right? And then how about server name? This should be replaced with Control-C, Control-F. This should be replaced with, it is a user defined variable for this P server. P server or P server name, anything is fine. And do replace all. Again, 14 occurrences are replaced. And then let me replace that port number, hard-coded value, 443, should be replaced with this P port or P port number. Do replace all. And now let us replace the script now. Now let us replay the script on the local application, right? So let us replay the script on the local application. Let me Quickie Manager, Cache Manager are added, and yeah. Now let me replay the script. Okay. So user registration is successful. isn't it? MGMIT training 4 on the local application. Now we are pointing to local application. Observe here. See the request localhost colon 8780 Konakart customer login action. So we are pointing to the local application now. Now let me try to log into the local application with this user ID. You should be able to log in with that user ID, right? Which user ID? MGMIT training 4. This one, isn't it? Here is my local application. Observe here. I'm pointing to local application here. So at gmail.com. Here you have to give email address only. That's why I'm giving at gmail.com. And what is the password? Password 4. And sign in. Hey, sorry. MGMIT training 4 not registered. It should be registered now. Hmm. At gmail.com only, right? We gave it at gmail.com only, right? Yes, at gmail.com only. Why it is not allowing to log in? No match for username and password. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me go to the database and check that. Are we missing something? First name, first name.
Even though we are missing in the parameterization and all, it should log in, right, Pawan? That's already registered.
We should be able to log in. Yes. MIT training 4. I did a copy paste only, right? I don't type it in such cases. But no, wait.
Sometimes even that won't work.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sometimes even copying and pasting won't work.
Match for username or password. Hold on. So let us connect to the database, local database. We have access to the local database, right? So let me connect. For that, I'll use any database tool like DB Visualizer or dbeaver. You can use any of these tools. First, let me try dbeaver. I had connected long back. Where is that dbeaver? Do you see dbeaver anywhere? Okay, here it is. Let me try dbeaver and DB Visualizer as well. First, let me try with dbeaver. And did we get any error message? No. It's taking some time. Okay, let me do one thing. I'll replay the script one more time. If it is already registered, that registration will fail, right? Yes, the registration is failing because it says like that email ID already exists, isn't it? And this is the email ID, mgmittraining4@gmail.com. Then why it is not allowing me to log in? Let me try now, guys. Maybe it is taking some time to sync in the database. No.
Can
What?
you try without that it's the red Gmail
Huh?
with user without the
With just
email ID?
username. Let me try. Sorry. No, actually, we are supposed to enter the email ID only, right? You see that here you see your email address, isn't it? Okay, anyways, let me try. No.
Okay.
And also, it is not showing any error message also here. Strange. Mm. See, this user ID is registered. Customer first name is MGMITTraining 4. This is the email ID, MGMITtraining4@gmail.com. Here you can see it, guys, isn't it? You see, customer first name is MGMITtraining4. Date of birth is this one, and customer email address is this one. User, but how come it is okay? Password, maybe some password issue, but how come? How come there is a password issue? Okay, let me do one thing. I'll try forget password, guys. That Gmail is already, that Gmail should be existing already. Okay, let me do one thing. I'll use a public mailbox. 1 second, guys. It's not working. User registration is successful. Here you can see that user ID, right? You can see that first name, and you can see that, that email ID also fine there. So 5 is not registered. If you search for 5, it will say no records. It will not fetch any records, isn't it? Because I did not try that 5. But 4 is registration is done, and we are able to see that in the database as well. So there is a password mentioned here. There is a oh, okay. See here. Password, is hard coded here. Observe here, guys. So this is the password. So I
Yeah.
need to parameterize this. Let me parameterize this. So this should be replaced with Control C, Control F. See, observe here, password is this one. So if you try with this password, you should be able to log in. Let me show you that. Go back and select this email ID. Password is password 2. Yeah. MGMITtraining4@gmail.com. There is a password copied. I think password is not copied, guys. Let me copy that password and paste it first somewhere. Okay, let me paste it here. Yeah, it is copied now. Control C. Okay. Login with that password. Some issue with this application. Use a private browser. So 2. What's the password that is there here?
We can check right with MGMITtraining with which password it logged in.
Now, thing is, like in the database, your password will be encrypted here. You see here, the password is in an encrypted format. See, this is an encrypted format. Understood?
Okay,
That's why
but
I cannot check it. Huh?
in JMeter can't we view Pawan?
Yes, we can view that. So we can see that here. See this request. Which request is that? In the replay log, request, go to request and check the password here.
There it is, password 2 only.
Password 2 only, isn't it? Password 2 only. And any other dynamic, but user registration is done. But any other dynamic values are there? Let us check if there are any other dynamic values. I don't see any other dynamic values. XSRF token is null. So I did not see any other dynamic values apart from this. Happening. The header manager, let us see if there are any dynamic values in the header manager. No. Now script is working fine. There is no issue with the script. See, suppose if I'll do one thing. So I will replay the script with this username and password. And now let me replay the script. This is done, right? Now you should see that, see what is the password here, password 2, isn't it? And username is MGMITTraining 5. Maybe this is an issue. No, this is not an issue. MGMITTraining 5. Let me log in with that user ID now. Not sure what is causing the issue. First, I will try with just that one. Password is password 2 only, isn't it? That is clear here. Okay. Let me copy this and let me try that. See, no. But on the database side, it is working fine. See, let us search for that MGMITTraining 5 now. I'm executing this query. And now you can see that, that user ID, you can see that over here. Isn't it? But why are we unable to log in from the browser?
On first name we replaced all right without checking. Maybe that might have affected somewhere.
What is that?
We replaced the first name right without finding. We just clicked replace all right without checking anything.
No, that is fine. So see, user ID is getting registered, right? We can see that in the we are able to cross
Yeah.
that in the database
So,
also.
Password, but password is not parameterized still. It is showing the old password only.
And that is fine. I'm using the password whatever I registered with. See, when we ran the script, what is the data that is sent to the server? Here you can see that password 2. Password is hard coded, right? So I'm seeing the password as password 2. Here we can clearly see that, isn't it?
Yeah, but still it's not logging in, right?
Hold on, just 1 second. See, this user ID is not registered now. There is no user ID with that name. Now let me replay the script once. User registration local app. This is the script that we are working, right? Let me clear this. Let me replay the script. User registration is successful, isn't it? So you can see that user registration is successful. Now if I copy that, if you copy from here, first let me copy that from here and let me log into that at gmail.com. I'm typing correct only, right? What is the password? Password 6. Password 6. I'm able to log in. I don't know why, it failed before. Okay, anyways. So, now observe here, guys, like I had ported the script. I made the script work on any environment, right? So we recorded this script on the online application. And now we are able to port that script to the local application. It is working on the local application. Again, if you want to make this script work on online application, you can simply go to user defined variables and change this HTTP, change this protocol to HTTPS. And what is the server name, guys? What should we give the server name as?
IP address.
Konakart.com.
Konakart.com, right? Konakart.com. Konakart.com. That is the server name that it got recorded originally, isn't it? And port number is 443. Let me cut it from here and I'll paste it here. This is just description part, right? So this is 443. Now if you replay the script, the same script should work on online application as well, isn't it? Let me close this login logout app. Okay. And now let me replay the script on now we are pointing to online application. Observe here. Protocol is HTTPS, server name is konakart.com and port number is 443. And what is the user ID that it takes? Observe here. This is the user ID that it takes. Now it is not registered. Initially, it was not registered. Let me go to that and let me show that. See, this is online application, and I'm trying to log in with that username and password. It will not log in because this is not registered yet. Is it registered? Let me check it. Yeah. Now you can see that we are unable to log in because that is not registered. Now let us replay the script now. Let me clear this and let me replay the script. Now we are pointing to online application, guys. Understood, guys? See, user-defined variables, I changed it to online application. And now is it done? Registration done, right? See here, see that customer registration note action. User registration is done. Now let me log in. Let me try to log in. So this is the password. First, let me copy the username and password. Let me try with Gmail ID, guys. Okay. At gmail.com. Password is this one. We're able to log in, right? Yes. Understood.
Yes, Pawan.
Yeah, Pawan.
So the same script is working on both two environments now. Both online application as well as our local application. So this is called as script portability. And how did we achieve script portability? We just parameterized that protocol and server name and port number. That's it. By changing, suppose now we want to make this script work on local application, simply use this one. Simply use localhost here and then 8780 here and HTTP here. That's it. You can make the script work on local application, isn't it? So this is called as script portability. Okay. Now shall we do one thing? Shall we run a test on Konakart and we will see how to monitor that server on the local application. We can't monitor online application. Online application we cannot monitor, isn't it? So what we will do is we will run the script on. We'll again point back to his local application, right? So see. I'll cut it from here and paste it here so that we need not type every time. Now, so let's 780. Okay, I'll run a test now on this application and how many user IDs we have in the script? We have 195, isn't it? So let me run the script with, let's say, 10 users. I'll run the script with 10 users and loop count, I can run for how many we have, how many user IDs we have.
Pawan, MGMIT6 is already registered, I guess.
6 is all. Let it fail. It will fail. Okay, nothing.
Yeah, it will fail.
That I one or couple of some iterations will fail. That's it.
Yeah.
The first iterations will fail. That's it.
Okay.
Let it fail. Okay. So now I am running the script with 10 users and loop count I'll give it as 2. Not 2. Why 2? So how many we have? How many user IDs we have? Around 200 user IDs. So 20. Let me give 20. Okay. So 200, the last 5 will fail. Let them fail. Okay. And I will add a summary report and aggregate report to see the response times. Summary report, I added a summary report and I will also add active threads over time. Okay. I'll add a listener called active threads over time so that I can see the users ramp up. Okay. And let us run the script now. Let's run the script and remember we are running on local application now, isn't it? And now what we will do is we will also see how to use that Java Melody tool for monitoring. So before that, let me check that that URL. What is that? What is that URL? Localhost 8780/Konakart monitoring. So as Tomcat is running, right, it is, it will be, this Java Melody tool will be running in the background. See, observe here, you can see used memory, CPU. Huh?
चालेल.
So you can see that, like right now it is using, see, 1244 MB is allocated for Konakart application, out of which it is using 420 MB. What is heap memory, guys, by the way? Java memory used means nothing but heap memory. Did I explain this? What is heap memory?
No, sir.
Okay. So what is meant by heap memory? Java heap memory. Very important interview question for performance testing, guys. Okay. So heap memory is the amount of is the amount of memory allocated for any Java, for a Java application. It's the amount of memory allocated for a Java application, that is called as heap memory. Now, if you observe here, how much memory is allocated for this Konakart? 1244 MB is allocated for Konakart, right? Out of which currently it is using only 420 MB. Understood, guys? It's using only 420 MB. Okay. Now let us run the test. Let's start the test now, right? And you'll see that, that memory increases, that heap memory utilization will go up. Let us see that. And I'll keep think time, guys. Okay. Let us give some think time between each transaction. Don't run the test without think time. Your server may crash. So what I will do is go to function helper dialog, random function, use random function, and then I'll give the think time of 5 to 10 seconds.
How we have to do any setup for the Java melody?
We need to copy the jar files. I think I already covered that. No? Didn't I cover that? See, here I covered that, right? Or no?
Yeah, covered.
See, simple. It's very simple. Let me show you that, okay? Google search for Java Melody user guide. Java Melody user guide. Go to github.com website and you'll see a clear description. See, Java Melody setup and untadi. You'll see somewhere, Java Melody setup. Where is that? Here it is. Java Melody setup. So for that, what you need to do is you need to download these jar files, java melody.jar, jrobin.jar, and there will be one more file called itext.jar. You need to copy those, download those 3 jar files and copy to your Konakart web apps. Let me show you that. I think I already shown today also. So you need to go to your Konakart folder. Once you set up that, go to web apps folder. Web apps means web applications. Inside that, this is the application name. Konakart is the application name. Inside that, webbin flip, right? Here you need to copy the jar files in this folder. So if you ask me, how do we know that, or how do we remember this one? So it's explained that is explained over here in the same, user guide only. So observe here, copy the files to the webbin flip directory of the where of the web app to monitor. Where means, see, this is where, not var. Where means web archive. Where means in Java terminology, where means web archive. Okay. It is a short form of web archive. So what does it say here? It clearly tells here where it should be copied. Where is that link? Yeah. So you need to go to the web app. Here our web app is Konakart. So you need to go to this folder, Konakart. See here, in this web apps, you should go to that application and then webbin flip. Flip for libraries. There I copied the jar files. That's it. And you need to restart the server. Once you copy the jar files, you need to restart the server. Then only your server will pick up the jar files. Okay. And that is also mentioned here. Observe here. Somewhere, that is also mentioned here. See, you can see here. And now you can view the monitoring, deploy the where and open the following page in a web navigator after starting the server. Once those jar files are copied, I gave the steps here also. Let me show you those steps in the PPT. I kept those steps in the PPT. Let me show that. Server side monitoring PPT lo I kept that. Yeah, here I kept clear cut steps here. Copy from download from github.com, copy the jar files to the web in flip directory of the, I gave example also here for your easy understanding. And then restart the application server after copying above jar files. And then how to generate a report. This is how we have to generate the report. I gave the URL directly here. Okay. Now let us run the test. Shall we start? Okay, let me give a think time for all the elements between all the transactions. And now let me run the test. I'll go to active threads over time and run the test. Now the test is running with how many users? All the 10 users came up. Oh, why so fast? Okay, I gave ramp up readers 1, right? That's why all the users ramped up at once. Fine. So now let us see that Java Melody report. Now the test is running. Observe here, I'm doing refresh. Okay, observe here previously, 420 MB is utilized. Now let us run the test. 166 MB is the test is running, 10 users with 10 users. Let us see the summary report. Okay.
It is still running.
Test is still running. Hey, why this is not in? Okay, 11, 12, 13. Yes, it's running fine, right? The test is running with 10 users. Now let me keep on refreshing this. See, observe here, it jumped to 334 MB. Heap memory utilization, 367 MB, right? 402 MB. So as users are ramping up, 432 MB. So heap memory utilization is increasing, right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So not only that, not only heap memory, you can see that, used memory increases and, HTTP sessions value will increase. See here, it is increasing here. And you can see active JDBC. Are there no JDBC connections? Okay. Some issue here, guys. This graph is not showing up. We observed that in the last session also. HTTP hits per minute, this is increasing. And heap memory will be increasing, right? 432. Now let's refresh 324. It came up a bit. It came down a bit. 372 again. 403. Right? 140. Clear, guys?
Pawan, why is it decreasing, Pawan?
It is sometimes it is decreasing because we have think time, right, in between the transactions. In between transactions, we have think time, right? Maybe when we refresh that, some users are executing think time.
Okay.
324, 369. Or, they completed first iteration and about to start the second iteration. Got it? And let us see this active threads over time. See, the test is running with 10 users. You can see here clearly, isn't it? Maybe the iteration is completed and there is some time between that, see, after logout there is some think time, right? Suppose user might have logged out and executing this think time, and we can call this as spacing actually, isn't it? See, the delay between each iteration is can be called as spacing, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So we can call this as spacing. At that spacing time, there will be no users, there will be less users on the application. That is why it should be coming down. Sometimes it is coming down in between. And also you can see HTTP sessions means how many users registered. Based on that, this will be increasing always. HTTP sessions will be increasing always. Is the test completed? How many are done? Only 50 user registrations are done. So still, I'll do one thing. Meanwhile, let us go to the database, right? MGMITTraining. I'll do one thing. I'll search for that user IDs. So select star from customers, where customer name. So what is the query for that? Select star
Like
customers, where customers underscore first name, like, we can use keyword like, right? And then, so MGMITtraining %. You have to give %. Now it will show all the user IDs that start with this name. Yes. Let me execute this. What is it saying? Error in the sequence.
You have to select complete row.
Uh-huh.
You have to select complete row. You didn't select.
Oh, I did not select complete one. Yes. Now you can see all the registered user IDs. All these user IDs are registered. See how many are done? 65. It will match with that number here. See, now it is 70. No. See here. 64 are registered. You remember previously when you are running a test, we registered a couple of them, isn't it? Initially, when we ran the test, right? Then also we registered some user IDs, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And also see, there is some error, guys. One registration has failed somehow. Submit user registration has failed. You see here, there is some 2% of errors. Or how many failed? 70, 74. So there are some errors. Okay. And let us see the log files. We should see the log files also actually. Where are these log files getting generated, when we do user registration? 1716K only. Let me sort with date modified. No. Log messages are turned off. Okay, that's why it is not writing any messages. Actually, it should write those messages also. Some application level setting is not working. Okay, that's why it is not printing those messages. Now it is 288, heap memory utilization 288. You can see here number of HTTP sessions are 91, 93. And let us see the CPU and memory utilization. Observe here, guys. See the memory utilization and let's see the CPU utilization. Right? You can see that CPU utilization over here. It went up to 3% is the max, of course. And HTTP sessions, you can see it went up to 85. Isn't it? As and when some user is registering, right, one session will be created. Then you can see that, it went up to 109. Right? You see here, you can see here. That number and this number is matching. Yes or no, guys? And observe here, percent system CPU. This Konakart application is using 11% of the CPU. Click on the details. See, if you click on the details, observe here, busy threads is 1 of 200. Okay, that means the total thread, active threads, the total thread size or thread count is 200, out of which only one thread is being used. And then, what are the other methods that we are seeing here? Non-heap memory. That's fine. You need not bother about that. Free disk space dependencies. What are the other things that I want to? Just give me a moment, guys. This is important, guys. So suppose, if the busy threads is 200 out of 200, then, you'll start getting errors. You'll start getting errors if the busy threads is, all the 200 threads are busy, then you'll start getting errors. Suppose you run a test with some, so you may ask me like, when did you get any queries, guys, or any doubts, guys? Now it is running for 10 users, right? Why only one thread is why there is only one thread that is busy? Anyone got that doubt? Or at least now click on details and how many threads are busy now? Still one thread is only busy, isn't it? Let me do a
Yeah.
control refresh. I'm doing a control refresh. So only one thread is busy, right? So how come, guys? But we are running the test with 10 users, isn't it? Guys, are you able to hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
Understood the question?
Yes.
Understood the question? We are running the test with 10 users, 10 virtual users at a time. But however, it is showing busy threads as only one. Why? Is it a wrong metric or there is some reason? So what is this threads first of all? What is the meaning of threads? Busy. What is the meaning of a thread, guys?
Users.
No, thread doesn't mean users. Okay.
Virtual.
All the transactions together.
So did you remember this question? What is the difference between, if anyone is from computers background? So you you might have remember this question. What is the difference between thread and a process? Anyone remember that? Process is the program under action, whereas thread is the smallest segment of instructions that can be handled. Or else I'll give you some simple definition. So thread is a lightweight process. That is a simple definition that you know. Thread is a lightweight process. So there are two terms here, process and thread. So basically, what you need to understand here is there are, for this application, there are 200 threads by default. Okay. And the thread, but only one thread is busy. So one thread means that doesn't mean that one user. No. We have only one thread that is serving all the 10 user requests. That is what it means. Even though 10 users are running, right? Only one thread is serving all the 10 users. Understood, guys? So how does one thread how can one thread serve all the requests? If you observe here, we kept some think time, right? We kept some think time, right? Suppose one thread is serving user one. Okay. So user one came to index page and it served the index page and the thread served the index page to the virtual user. And then it goes to think time. That user goes to think time. Now that thread will actually, it will not be idle. It will go to it will serve the second user. While this think time is executed, right? That will serve the second user. Understood, guys? So this happens in a fraction of milliseconds. Each virtual user will be served by this one thread in a fraction of milliseconds. And then it immediately goes to the next user. Guys, are you able to follow or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. See, suppose you went to a Pani Puri shop and you and your friends, like 4 people went there, right? So will that person, will you see like 4 people, 4 people serve four of your friends? The same person will be serving, 2 or 3 people at a time, right? Yes or no?
Yeah.
So while you are eating, he will serve the other customers, isn't it? The same single person, he will be serving 4 people at a time. The same is the case here. One thread is serving 10 users now. But if you remove think time, then see, shall we remove think time? Let the script be completed. How many users are still pending? So okay, some more registrations will be done. We have 195 data, right? Let it complete. Understood the concept, guys? So your thread is nothing but something like your Pani Puri wala. So he will be serving, he can serve 4 or 5 people at once. While the other users are, executing think time, right? He will be serving the other users. This thread will be serving other users here. In the same, similarly, one thread is serving 10 customers here or 10 users here. But if you remove that think time, if you take out that think time, so that thread count may increase, that busy thread count may increase. Let us check that. I did not check this any time before. So let me check that. Okay. Let it be
The busy threads will differ to application to application, Pawan.
It depends on how many users are accessing the application.
So
Suppose
that max
see,
here it's showing
run the test with
200,
let's say 500 users or 600 users, then the busy threads in count will increase because one thread, okay. Let me again take this example. So if you go to a Pani Puri shop, 4 or 5 people go, he can serve, one person can serve. But what if 100 people go? Obviously, he cannot serve 100 people, without any delay, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
He may ask, you may see some 2 more or 3 more servers there. I mean, two more people or 3 more people are required there, isn't it? So now
Yes.
what we will do is, now the test is completed, right? I will disable that think time in between. So there is no waiting time between each transaction, isn't it? Now there will be no waiting time between each transaction. And now I'm removing that pacing also. Okay. Now if we execute the test, right, I am assuming that this busy threads will increase now. One, because there is no think time there. So one thread cannot serve all the 10 users. Shall we do that? We'll verify that. Okay. But meanwhile, if you want to run the test, we need to change this, right? So I'll do one thing. I'll remove, I'll replace this MGMITtraining with just MGMIT. Or I'll give my name. Okay. Do replace all. Now, these users, I'll keep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 also. I'm removing think time and I'm executing that. Now your CPU and memory utilization will increase because there is no think time now, isn't it? Yes or no, guys? So memory and CPU utilization also should increase. Previously, it went up to 450 MB. Used memory went up to 450 MB, but there is no think time now, so it should go further up. And heap memory also should, utilization also. I mean, it should touch the maximum point. Let's see that. So what am I doing here? So I'm giving that 200 user IDs. I'm just trying to keep 200 user IDs. Okay. 3. I did not do this exercise anytime before, guys, but I'm just making some assumptions or, let's see how far they are correct. Now we have 200 user IDs, right? Let me save the file. And we gave unique user IDs now, right? And now let us run the test with same 10 users. I'm running the test with same 10 users. I'll do a slow ramp up because there is no think time also. If we ramp up all the users, your server may die, right? So now let us, replay the script now. And let us see that thread count and how CPU and memory utilization will be impacted. See, 2 users, 3 users. You can see that, I did not clear all. I should have cleared all. Okay, that's fine. Now let us see these metrics. Let's see this matrix. I'm doing a control refresh. And now let us see that, threads. Where is the threads, guys? Still only one thread is serving. Great. Still only one thread is serving. Minimum mean age of HTTP sessions. One thread is sufficient and it is serving all the 10 users. Oh, great. Okay. Click on these details. I want to see busy threads. Do you have a script? Active threads. This graph is also, some graphs are not working actually. I don't know why, but some graphs are not working. We are not getting data for some graphs. Okay. Now let's see the CPU and memory utilization. Let me do a control refresh. What happened? How many users are running? Hey, somehow the application got stopped. Is it done? Oh, okay. All the registrations are done, guys. All the registrations are done because there is no think time. Registrations are done very fast. The user registrations are done. If you want, let me show that. Okay. MGMITtraining Pavan, right? That is the username that I gave. Okay, here you can see all the user registrations. You can see the count also here. Observe here. 200 registrations are done. Isn't it? How much time it took? It took only 14 seconds. That is why you are not seeing any difference. That is why, I'll do one thing. I'll run I'll keep 1000 user IDs and I'll run the test for some time. Or else I'll do one thing. I'll reduce the think time. Think time I'll reduce it to, and test duration penchtaniki, to increase the test duration. I'll decrease think time. I'll keep think time, but I will decrease think time. So what I will do is, 1 to 2 seconds pedtanu. 1 to 2 seconds. So that, the test duration will be increased. Let me enable this in time. So we are proceeding with less think time than before. And I'll create data, more data. It's the time now 8:30. I'll create more data. Two not one. I'll start from 201. Let us skip 2000 user IDs. Copy this and open that file now. Where is that in Notepad++? You have that in Notepad++, right? Now let me replace that. I'm keeping 2000 user IDs. Remove this. Let's see, Control H. Remove, replace that with a comma to replace all. 2000 occurrences are replaced. Save that. And now let us run the test with, or else I'll do one thing, guys. I'll give number of threads as 50, number of virtual users as 50. And now let me run the test. 50 into 20, that is 1000, isn't it? I'll make this as 40 so that all the user IDs will be consumed. Now the script will do 2000 registrations, right? 5 4 20, 200, huh? See, how much?
2000.
2000. 2000, right?
That only count.
Okay, 2000, yeah. Now let me clear all, let me do clear all, and let me run the test, okay? Now you should see that, like we increase the number of users. Let's not go beyond 50 because JMeter will die. If you go to 100 users, right? JMeter may die. And also let me close some unwanted tabs because, my system should support that, okay? So I'm closing all this. We should have enough RAM on the system, free RAM on the system, isn't it? Say, suppose if you are running test with more number of users, how much? Let's check how much memory is available. Only 2 GB is available, isn't it? So let me close some unwanted tabs. So I'll keep it. I'll close this online application. I'll close it. This also I'll close it. Okay. And this also I'll close this. I'll close this one also. This one also not required. WhatsApp also I'll close. Now see the available memory, 2.4 GB. Now I need to release some more memory. 2.4 GB. What else I can close? I'll close this one also, Excel also. Okay. Now we have 3 GB memory, right? Now let us run the test. Actually, we are not supposed to run the test in GUI mode because JMeter will consume a lot of CPU and a lot of memory if you run in non-GUI mode. If you run in GUI mode, sorry. If you run in GUI mode, JMeter will consume a lot of CPU and a lot of memory. You can see that. I'll show that. That also will see that. So we are running the test with 50 users on Konakart local application, right? And let us start the test. Now the users are ramping up. And now see how your CPU utilization and memory utilization will go up. See that. See, slowly increasing. CPU utilization is increasing. Memory utilization also will increase now. You can see here a clear difference here. See, CPU utilization is increasing gradually, right? Yes or no, guys?
Yes, Pawan.
And 50 users are running now. Now let us see the Java Melody report. See, here also you can see that used memory also should increase. Let me do a control refresh. See, it is increasing. Here you can see that the pattern, you can see the pattern here. And CPU utilization, yes. And HTTP sessions also will increase. Now it went up to like 450, isn't it? And let us see the threads thing. Okay, let's see if one thread is serving all the requests or how is it working. Busy threads is only one. Okay. It's a Java application, right? Java is a multi-threading. It supports multi-threading, isn't it? Ah, yes. Now see here. We got 4 threads are busy now. This is what I'm trying to achieve. Or a time I'm trying to show you, right? Because we increased the number of users from 10 to 50, isn't it? Now the busy threads came to 4. Let's see that now. 3 now, right? But I got what I want to show, right? Now it is 1. Maybe why it is 1 here? So we have pacing time, right? After each iteration, we kept some pacing time, isn't it? So only 1 thread is busy now. Now, if we keep on refreshing that, you can see that, that value increases. Now 2. Again 2, right? You saw that 4, right? Busy threads went to 4, isn't it? So number of users is not equal to number of threads. Okay. So just 3 threads of the application, Konakart application are serving 50 users now. Because we are having think time here. Now we'll do one thing. Once the test is over, if you disable that think time, you can see further up, like busy threads may go up to like 5 or 6. Understood, guys?
Yes, Queen.
Average response times are very low. That is why, like you can see like test is going very smooth, right? And average response, see the average response time. Only submit registration form is taking 160 milliseconds because this is a Java application. But if you run the same, if you run similar script on a web tools application, it will die. Your average response times, if you run user registration script on web tools application, different script, that web tools user registration script. If you hit the server with this think time and this user load, your response times will go up to 2 seconds, 3 seconds. But this is a Java application, right? Konakart is a Java application. And Java supports multi-threading. Is so powerful, right? Compared to any other language. So just 3 threads are serving 50 users now, right? So suppose if all the threads are busy, all the 200 threads are busy, then we will start seeing some errors. Our response times will increase. First response times will increase, right? But if you run the test with, let's say, some 1,000 users or 4,000 or 5,000 users, then you may see some errors that, threads are not sufficient. Our response times will increase basically first. Wonderful, yes. Okay, I got whatever I want to show that I got it. Okay, let's see. And another, good thing with the Java Melody tool is, observe here. It consumes only 1 MB, less than 1 MB of RAM. This is a lightweight tool, very lightweight tool. And disk usage is only 2 MB. Understood, guys? It is a very lightweight tool. This monitoring tool doesn't consume a lot of CPU and lot of memory. And one more thing, let us see that, CPU utilization. You can see here, as we reached 50 users, see, observe here, there are some spikes and lows here. Memory utilization is 3.3 GB. There is, of course, only we are running with only 50 users. That is fine. Okay. Disk utilization is high. I'm seeing like 20%, 25%, etc. Because it writes to the database, right? See, why disk utilization is increasing. See, generally it will be 1%, 2%, up to 5% only. But now you are seeing 20%, 22%, 26%. The reason is this application is running on local machine, right? On my local machine. It should write some data to that Konakart application, right? Isn't it? It should write some data to that Konakart application. Yes or no, guys? And database server also utilization also will be there, right? So that is why you can see that, that CPU, memory utilization, disk utilization are increasing. Once you stop the test, you can see like this will not cross 5% once the test is completed. At least disk utilization will not cross 5% once the test is stopped. Let us see how many iterations are completed. 1400. approximately 1400 iterations. There are no errors, zero errors. We are running a test with 50 users and very less think time. 1 to 2 seconds is very less think time. But if you run 50 user load test on web tools, it will die. At least response times will increase. But see, the response times of these applications are very, very less, minimal. You see here, index page is taking 22 milliseconds only. This transaction is taking only 3 milliseconds.
Pawan, what happened if 200 out of 200, will it crash or it will still
No, your
serve
response
the...
times will increase. Suppose if threads are not free, right? All the 200 threads are busy, suppose, right? Then, response times will increase first. Suppose, see, but for any application, there will be, we'll have a timeout value. Suppose if the response times goes beyond 120 seconds or 180 seconds, response times are very high, then your request will time out. We don't know what is the timeout value for this application. You can find that, you can find that somewhere in the config files. So there will be something called a timeout value. So if that, if the response times cross the timeout, right, then you will start seeing errors. Your request will time out and you will start seeing errors. And let us see the CPU utilization also. You should see that, right, which is fine. So, when did we start the test? And the time when the test starts is 8 minutes, isn't it? Click return and update. Click on update. Okay. Click on update here. Hey, sorry, it is opening a new tab. Update here. Click on update. Of course, you are not seeing much difference here, but his sessions will increase drastically. See here, HTTP sessions went up to 2,200. 2.2K means add 3 zeros. Remove the dot and add 3 zeros, right? So it went up to 22,000, is it?
2200.
2200, sorry. Okay. So 2.2K means 2.2K means this keep 3 zeros in place of K and remove that. No, 22,000. 2K and 2,000. Sorry. 2K means 2,000, right? So 2.2K means like 2200. Sorry. Right. Okay, guys, I'll stop it here for today. Okay. So let the test be completed and I will stop the test, stop the session for today. Yes, the test is completed and 2000 registrations are done. Shall we check the user IDs, guys? See, this is the, let us check the registrations in the database. Okay, MGMIT Pavan. Okay. So, I need to run the same query, right? You'll see 2000 plus. How many you'll see, guys? If I search like, MGMIT Pavan percentage, you see 2200. You'll see 2200. Let us see that. What happened? Is this executing the query? Let me select this and what is this? It should show MGMIT Pavan. అదే కదా నేను ఇచ్చింది. Should see the registrations. Let me do a refresh. $200 plus. Okay. So basically, okay, let me understood.
Pagination, I think.
Yes. So it is getting more than 200 plus it is but it is displaying only 200. There should be some setting here to show all those. Somewhere, I remember that there should be some setting here. Export data, fetch all data. Yes. Yes. Now you can see here. See, if you click on that fetch all data, it is showing 2200. Okay. Now it is fetching all that 2200 registrations that we have done now. Understood, guys?
Yes, no.
But it is showing only 200 here. Okay. If you want to see all those, just give 22, just give 3000 here. And now hit enter. You'll see all the 2200 registrations. Now you see that all those, you'll see all those 2200. Okay. You just give some number bigger than this number, equal or greater than or equal to this number. That's it. So now you can see all the user registrations that are done now. Okay, guys, I'll stop it here for today. Any queries before we close today's session?
Sir, do we have any interview questions for JMeter?
Questions specifically for JMeter. See, I am listing out all the interview questions daily. Whenever we get some interview questions, I am listing out them in the class notes, right? I don't have a separate document other than that.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Pawan, do you have session on tomorrow?
Tomorrow, no? I'll let you know.
Can you please share the PPTs, Pawan, so that we will prepare for the interview?
Which PPT?
That server monitoring and
One more
API,
PPT. Yeah, I'll share it.
API testing and controller PPTs also.
Ah,
LoadRunner.
yes. I'll share that, but let me check if if a fee pending from any of the participants, and then I have to.
Yeah, okay.
See here, guys. See here, the test is stopped right now. You will, see the discretization. It will not be like, I said right. It will not cross 5% now. But when the test is running, you observe that the discretization went up to 22%, 25%, 26%, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, Pawan.
So that is why you should monitor, when you are running a load test, you need to monitor all those metrics. What are those? CPU utilization, memory utilization, disk utilization, isn't it? We have some metrics that we have listed, right? In disk utilization, you have to measure % disk time. How much percentage of the time hard disk was utilized, right? So in network interface, we need to monitor the network interface. All this should be monitored. Okay, I'm closing this.